9 o'clock hour. This guy, our guest, Ray Rastelli, has been in the beef business since Reagan was president. For a long time. And when he goes to a restaurant, goes to a five-star restaurant, he doesn't look at the menu. He just says, I think I'll have the
ribeye steak.
I'll have the ribeye steak. It's the butcher's choice. It's also my choice as well. If you're a fan, 1-800-395-1601. The ribeyes are back. The ribeyes are back. The Rastelli 10 9-ounce, not the 6-ounce, for $14.99. Lowest price of the entire year. You're not going to get a better buy on the Rastelli ribeyes than right now. They're in time for dad or son-in-law or anybody in the family. And we've got them in honor of our Foodie Fest today, and you're loving them. Believe me, you're loving the choices here right now or in time for the 4th of July. Shipping and handling is absolutely free. I'm going to tell you what you get in a second, but first, Ray, you're on. Why the ribeye?
Well, the ribeye, think about it, right? It's my favorite steak. I've been a butcher for 50 years, so when I get to a great steakhouse, as you said, I don't even look at the menu. I just want the ribeye. I want the black Angus ribeye. I want the reserve ribeye because that's very special. It's also huge. It's the largest steak we bring. I mean, if you take a look at this steak will easily feed 2 people. Lots of different ways to go with it.
Yeah.
But Rick, it's about marbling. Marbling gives you texture. Marbling gives you tenderness, and marbling gives you flavor. And where's the flavor? Let me show you where the flavor is. Right through it. Just my knife glides through this because it's so incredibly soft and tender. Look at that. That's really what I want to bite into when I'm biting into a steak, right? I mean, that's just
way to go.
Look
By the way, and you're going to have that consistency every time. $30. Here's how we're going to do it. Come on over here. Here's what you do. Go to QVC.com. Call the number, 1-800-345-1515. Go to the app and say, I want the ribeyes. When you get them, you order them. In a few days, if you get them in the immediate shipment, you get the entire pack. I love the packaging. I love the way they've been individually packaged, so they're freezer safe. You get 2 of the garlic herb butters. You get that amazing seasoning, that secret seasoning, which I love. We're going to show you different ways of different rubs you can use and put on these things that are fantastic. But it has to start with the meat. So right now, or if you want that ship date, in time for the 4th of July. But I will tell you right now, my producers tell me in real time, if you want them right now, this was not planned. They are far more limited than the July 4th ship date. So come on in and get them right now. Don't wait on them. One time or an auto delivery, and that's every 60 days, and we're going to lock into that price. All right, here we go.
So look, I want you to see how juicy this ribeye. So remember, I talked about the marbling. Marbling is juicy. Marbling's tasty. It's going to be incredibly flavorful, but watch how tender it is. I've cut these pieces right off of that center cut of that steak.
Here we go.
I've got a fork in my hand. Here we go. Right through
live TV,
right through the center of each piece of this steak with a fork, right? So I give you that butter to drop on top once you've got it cooked, but this is what makes that ribeye so perfect. It's going to be the most flavorful steak you've ever tasted. That marbling just melts into that steak.
You can do a blindfold taste test and know the difference between the filet and the ribeye.
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
This is great, man.
The texture's wonderful, but it's all about where we start. It's black Angus ribeye, and I think it's so important to understand it's about the breed. It's about black Angus, American cattle, ranchers that I have worked with for over 45 years. These people have become my friends, and I will tell you, they're home watching, and they are excited, and they're proud to have this at QVC.
So, American beef. Know your source, right, Ray?
That's it, you know, and what's really nice is being out on those farms, on those ranchers, being able to see exactly what we expect. These are cattle that are grazing in beautiful, clean pastures, great clean water, and of course, at the very end, we finish them on corn because corn gives us an incredibly marbled steak. That's what makes a great steak. But remember, our ribeye steak comes from our prime rib of beef. We all know how delicate and how incredibly flavorful that prime rib is. Well, that's where we start. But it starts on the farm with farmers. When we get the prime ribs in, this is what they look like. So think about this. This has got the fat on it. It's got the bone on it. It's got everything on it, but it's straight from the ranch. From here, we're aging this 45 days. Now, this is reserve. This reserve product, Rick, only is found on QVC.
Wow.
Nowhere else, not in even our butcher shop. So these reserve ribeyes come from a reserve prime rib we start. Then what we do with that prime rib is we take, after it's aged 45 days, we take all the fat right off of that. Look at that, because we don't want you buying fat, right, or eating fat. We then take the bone right off the bottom.
No,
because
I'm not buying the bone.
That bone is nothing. And that's typically what you would have to buy with a prime rib. But here's really where we go next. We take this after the butchers have trimmed them completely, and you can see how trimmed this is.
$14.99, everybody.
And
you cut that in half. It's $7.50 for an entree. Unbelievable story. Only time this year. If your auto delivery is ending from last year, time to re-up right now. The time it couldn't be more perfect.
So I talked about marbling, Rick. There it is. Look at that marbling. That inner fleck of marble, that melts into the steak. So when you cook it, it melts. That's why you see the tenderness, you see the juiciness, but the incredible bold flavor. So those flecks of marble are really the key. They will only come from a reserve black Angus ribeye that we've got here today that's been aged for 45 days. And the aging is really important. Aging is a natural process. Aging that beef actually breaks down the proteins and the enzymes, makes it more tender, but it gives you a great beefy, hearty flavor.
And this is not 28 days, it's 45 days.
45-day
so
aged.
Longer aging, better
Yes.
flavor, breaks down the enzymes. All those things are there, no bones about it.
So important.
And now you've got this big size. These aren't 6 ounce for this price. These are 9
Yes.
ounces. How many? 300 already spoken for. If you want the immediate ship date, it's here right now. In the Kitchen with David, going to be a big show. Foodie Fest is here, so there's lots of people picking this up. You're getting all 10 with the Epicurean butter, with the seasoning, and they're all sent to your door. You can use Built to Ship to. Lots of ways you can shop right now. You can make this happen, but they'll receive them, and they're not going to be disappointed. Instead of getting a gift card, how about that? An anniversary. Say, you know what? We're sending you some steaks. You can't go wrong with it. And Chris, over here, what are you about to do for us, my friend?
I'm going to show you how to do some of our rubs, Rick.
Great.
This is something that's really special.
Some great ideas that we got on QVC.com on the rub. He's going to make a steak for us live right now.
Yes, and we're going to use the Smoky Butcher rub, which is one of Ray and I's favorite. It has a
Okay,
little
great.
bit of smoked
So here we
paprika.
go. One of our today's special
One-
items.
one
Put
of
some
you-
olive oil on top.
A little
right?
olive oil. That's
Keep watching.
gonna help adhere to it, right? So we're gonna lay it down. I already put some spice on the plate. I'm gonna just rub that in. I'm
Great.
gonna take my spoon. I'm gonna just sprinkle this on, Rick, just like this.
Kind of liberal on that.
A little bit, yeah, just enough to
Oh,
coat
man,
it, right?
I am trying some of these rubs, guys.
Yeah. And
I
what-
am trying some of the. I'm sold on the rubs. Okay.
And what the rubs do, Rick, it gives a crust that's gonna actually keep all those juices in when you cook it.
And you're
right?
doing the whole thing on a pan.
Right like this. Ready? So we're gonna just put it on that nice pan.
Sear's happening.
We're gonna get that sear going.
Come
and again,
on.
when you have your favorite, now you're gonna get recipe card. You know, it's online. You can find this. This is a card that you're gonna see, Rick,
Okay.
right? And that's gonna have 6 recipes. What I recommend, when you find your favorite recipe,
Heck yeah.
make a batch, put it into a jar, keep it in your cabinet.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because you're gonna have these steaks, 10 of them, and every time you make one, you can do a rub.
Okay.
Right? Just put them right on.
Checking back in a second. Here's what I want to clarify. With that auto delivery every 60 days for 1 full year, $14.99. Cut in half, it's $7.50 a steak. It's the best price of the year on the ribeyes. You're getting these right now in June. Next shipment is going to be in August. Going to be ready. Football season. Here we go.
Yeah.
Getting ready for it. And then it's going to be wintertime. I mean, it's going to be October. Here comes the fall. Falling in love with more ribeyes. Hey, Christmas dinner, right? Or the week before Christmas dinner. Here's December. There's February, Valentine's Day, dinner for 2. And here comes next spring. And you keep locking into that. You can delay a shipment, skip a shipment. You're in total control. Chris, we'll check back with you in a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, by the way, this is another little something or other. Look at that. I fell in love with these. Ray, what's the scoop with these knives?
Rick, they're the knives that we have been using for years. They're all stainless steel.
I love it.
So
With the
they're
butcher block?
dishwasher safe and they're simple. But that's what we've been cutting these steaks with, well, actually for the last 10 years.
Stay on the line. More on that on QVC.com.
Only knife we use.
You keep on working here. Back to here.
Big steaks, right? So look at the size of these steaks, and it's really important to understand. I took one steak, Rick, and I actually made one very, very large
Fantastic.
salad, which you can actually go ahead and dress with that dressing if you'd like.
Fantastic. I really will.
But here's another steak, and you know what I'm going to do with this one, Rick? I'm just going to cut it in half because I want you to see how big one steak can easily be that platter for 2. I mean, look at how gorgeous that is.
To me, that's the shot of the show.
That's one steak. One
This
steak.
is one steak. Guys, for my retired friends out there, people are over 65, 70 years old. You say, I don't want a 9-ounce steak. No, look at that. You each have a 4.5-ounce fantastic steak that's $7.50. That's drive-through money, and you've got a reserved Rastelli black Angus ribeye. Seriously?
That will cut with a fork, and that's what I love to be able to show people, because you see the texture, you see the juices that are coming out of it. But once I slice that steak and I actually put it on my plate, this is how I can really test it.
Yeah.
With a fork. Look at this, Rick. Just with a fork, I'm going to
there.
go through every single piece of this steak.
Immediate going quickly. 600 people on the line. Call us if you're a big fan. We'll take your calls. 1-800-395-1601. Share your story. How do you like your steak? When did you first get them? Are you on auto delivery?
Just like butter, isn't it?
It's like that. I'm telling you, Ray, that's my favorite steak. I get a ribeye whenever I go to a restaurant. This is restaurant quality that you can have in your own home when you want it, all to your liking, to perfection. Come on over here.
So, think about it.
I love what you did earlier.
We go to that great steakhouse, right? We sit down at the table, and of course the waiter brings out that skillet that's sizzling, right? And we think, oh my goodness, what did we pay, $50, $60, $70 for that steak? It's just absolutely crazy. Here's how simple this is, and this is why I gave you everything for your steak. Just take your steak, sear it for 1 minute on each side, then drop it in your oven in your skillet.
Here it comes, everybody.
Right? And all you've got to do is drop this in that oven for about 5 minutes at 350. So look at how beautiful that is. And of course, this is when you take your butter. Just drop a dollop of butter right on top of that.
That's how you do it.
Just like I did here.
How long do you rest your steak, Ray?
5 minutes. Just
That's
let
it?
that steak rest for 5 minutes. Now this one, I'm not going to let rest too long because I want to actually cut it for you. But I want you to see this platter. I mean, look at what you would get at a great steakhouse.
That's a $50 steak.
You've done this at home.
$50 ribeye.
Yes. And
$14.99.
in about 8 minutes, you've done this. Remember, I always take the steak out of the freezer, let it thaw, get it room temperature, sear it for 1 minute on each side, put it in the oven for 5 minutes. Now let's see what we're going to get.
Here we go.
Now we slice into that steak that we got at this great steakhouse, which is now your house, right? I want you to see how beautiful this steak is.
That's under perfection.
And that easy.
That's
I mean,
it.
You all know that I'm
With
not
the
a
butter?
chef, right? I'm a butcher who loves to cook, but that's how simple this is.
Now, do you know what happened after the 9 o'clock hour? Jen, my producer, what did I do? I brought the steaks up. How were they? They were delicious. I brought them up to our control room, and they were good. Guess what? You get that right now, and then you cut that baby in half, and now you've got $7.50. There's nowhere in America you're going to get a better steak for $7.50 than you're seeing right here. We took one steak, cut it in half, threw a baked potato on there with some asparagus, and man, you're in heaven.
You really are. And Rick, you know, I love that the QVC buyers and the family and the Rastelli family really worked an entire year to be able to bring you back reserve Black Angus ribeyes for the same price this year as last year. We all know the beef market has gone up minimally 30%.
Wow.
So it's been an incredible feat that QVC has been wonderful to be able to do that. So we're really excited about bringing this back at the same price as last year. And of course, we know what's going to happen to the market now for the next year. It's going to continue to rise. So if you've got the opportunity to jump on this every 60 days, do that, because once you start eating these steaks, you're going to wish you had them every 60 days coming to you.
And you're going to love the consistency of them.
Yes.
You're going to love the consistency and the flavor. And the $14.99, you lock into that, lock into what we had last year, which is a huge story. Chris, how you doing over there? Got a few more minutes? Got a couple of minutes. We're doing it live right now, and all these steaks are absolutely delicious. These are American Black Angus steaks. What does the reserve mean again, Ray?
So reserve means that only a very few actual cattle qualify for this, less than 4%. And what makes it qualify? Well, it's the beautiful marbling that's inside the steak. It's the conformation of the steak. But I want you to see how big it is. This is a nice, thick, juicy steak.
1,000 people shopping in the moment. If you want it immediately, don't wait on the immediate ship date. My producer Jen's telling me. Here we go. You're falling in love with these. That means 70. What did we? 17,000? Did we say? 16 plus 1. A lot of you are shopping for steaks.
Oh my goodness.
We have them, and they're done perfectly.
Look at that. I mean, that's how simple. And this is what I love about this particular steak. You don't have to do much to it. Just thaw it out, drop it on your grill, your skillet, in your broiler. When you pull it out, put that Epicurean, beautiful garlic herb butter right on top. Let it melt in, and you can actually see some of them herbs and spices that are coming from that garlic butter. And that's what I want to be able to eat. What I will guarantee you is every bite will be tender.
I'll take another one.
You'll take another
By
one.
the way, again, this is not AI. This is not computer animation. So when you cut that with a fork or with your knife, right? It's that tender each and every time. Each and every time. Every bite's delicious.
Isn't it?
Everybody's delicious.
And that's why I love the ribeye, because I never get disappointed when I get to a great steakhouse. Why? because the natural marbling inside that steak is what makes this so tender.
By the way, another few ideas. You've got it up front here, right?